In the early 20th century, the race for supremacy on the North Atlantic was fierce among shipping companies. The White Star Line, under the direction of J. Bruce Ismay, sought to outdo its rivals by commissioning the construction of the RMS Titanic, along with its sister ships, the Olympic and Britannic. These were to be the largest and most luxurious liners ever built. The Titanic was designed by the shipbuilding firm Harland & Wolff, based in Belfast, Ireland. The design incorporated the latest in maritime technology, including 16 watertight compartments intended to keep the ship afloat even if up to 4 were breached. It was this feature that led many, including Ismay, to tout the Titanic as unsinkable. The Titanic was the epitome of luxury. Its first-class accommodations included opulent cabins, a grand staircase, a swimming pool, and even a Turkish bath. Passengers could dine in style in the a la carte restaurant or stroll along the promenade deck, enjoying the finest amenities available at sea. Despite its luxury, the ship had a critical flaw: lifeboat capacity. The Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats, enough for just 1,178 people, far short of its total capacity of over 3,300 passengers and crew. This was in compliance with outdated Board of Trade regulations, which were based on the ship's tonnage rather than its passenger capacity. The Titanic set sail on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England on April 10, 1912. It made stops in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now Cove, Ireland, before embarking on its journey across the Atlantic to New York City. The ship was carrying a mix of passengers, the wealthy elite, middle-class travelers, and numerous immigrants seeking a new life in America. On board were some of the wealthiest and most prominent individuals of the era. John Jacob Astor IV, one of the richest men in the world, was traveling with his young wife. Isidore Straus, co-owner of Macy's department store, and his wife Ida were also aboard, as were industrialist Benjamin Guggenheim and his valet. These first-class passengers enjoyed unparalleled luxury, while those in third class faced more modest accommodations, but still benefited from the ship's advanced design and relative comfort. During its voyage, the Titanic received multiple iceberg warnings from other ships in the area. Despite these warnings, the ship maintained a high speed of around 22 knots, driven by a desire to make headlines with a record-breaking crossing time. Captain Edward Smith, a seasoned mariner nearing retirement, was at the helm, and like many, believed the Titanic was invulnerable. On the night of April 14, 1912, at approximately 11:40 p.m., lookout Frederick Fleet spotted an iceberg directly ahead. Despite immediate evasive maneuvers, the ship's starboard side struck the iceberg, causing the hull plates to buckle and water to flood into the forward compartments. The damage was catastrophic, affecting 6 of the 16 watertight compartments, 2 more than the ship could withstand and remain afloat. As the Titanic's bow began to dip, Captain Smith ordered the lifeboats to be readied and passengers to be evacuated. The evacuation process was marked by confusion and panic. Many lifeboats were launched only partially filled due to a lack of proper training and the widespread disbelief that the ship was actually sinking. Women and children were given priority, leading to heartbreaking separations and acts of bravery among the male passengers. The Titanic's lights remained on until almost the very end, providing an eerie glow as the ship's stern lifted high into the air. At approximately 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the Titanic broke apart and sank beneath the icy waters of the North Atlantic. The temperature of the water was a frigid 28 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 2 degrees Celsius, causing those in the water to succumb to hypothermia within minutes. Of the 2,224 passengers and crew aboard the Titanic, over 1,500 perished. Most died from exposure in the freezing waters, while others went down with the ship. The RMS Carpathia, alerted by Titanic's distress signals, arrived around 4 a.m. and rescued the 705 survivors who had managed to escape in lifeboats. In the wake of the disaster, inquiries were conducted in both the United Kingdom and the United States. These investigations revealed numerous shortcomings in safety protocols, including the insufficient number of lifeboats and the failure to heed iceberg warnings. The disaster led to significant changes in maritime law, including requirements for lifeboats for all passengers, regular lifeboat drills, and the establishment of the International Ice Patrol to monitor iceberg dangers. The story of the Titanic has been immortalized in books, films, and exhibitions. From Walter Lord's A Night to Remember to James Cameron's 1997 blockbuster film Titanic, the ship's tale continues to captivate audiences. These retellings have helped to keep the memory of the Titanic alive, serving as poignant reminders of human vulnerability and the hubris of technological arrogance. In 1985, the wreck of the Titanic was discovered by a team led by Dr. Robert Ballard. The legacy of the Titanic endures, reminding us of the human cost of progress and the importance of learning from history to ensure that such a disaster never happens again. As we remember the Titanic, we honor those who lost their lives and continue to learn from the lessons left in its wake.